Welcome to The Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into something fascinating. It's where cutting-edge AI meets the wild world of crypto trading.
Yeah.
We're focusing on a system called LiqBot Pro. You might have heard it described as they call it a true self-learning, AI-driven war machine. Quite the description.
It really is. And our mission today is to unpack that. How does this automated system actually work? What makes it, unique? And crucially, what's the thinking behind its constant evolution? Because this isn't just about software, right? It's about understanding a whole new way to engage with these markets. Markets that are, let's face it, incredibly dynamic, often chaotic. What does this tech really mean for how you understand markets?
Okay, yeah, let's break that down. Because many of us, when we look at crypto markets, we come in with certain ideas, right? Assumptions we've picked up, things we think we see on charts. But the big question is, do those traditional ways of thinking, do they actually work? Especially in a market that changes so fast and can be so volatile.
It's a really important question. And the developer behind LiqBot, well, they're pretty blunt about common beliefs in retail trading.
Oh, yeah.
Take the whole Bitcoin only goes up idea. I mean, history just doesn't bear that out, does it? We've seen these massive crashes, minus 83.6%, minus 60.8%, even 86.9% off previous highs.
What?
Yet people still kind of treat it like a savings account sometimes. But what's really interesting is their take on traditional chart patterns, head and shoulders, double bottoms.
The classics.
Exactly. They argue these aren't really reliable predictors. They see them more as liquidity traps. Basically setups designed by market makers.
Traps. How so?
Well, their core idea is pretty profound. You don't trade patterns, you are the pattern, meaning your emotional reactions, your predictable stop-loss points, that becomes the fuel. That's what the big players use. And they hammer this point home. The market is not a short. It's a liquidity engine. It runs on retail stops and those fear or greed-driven entries.
Okay, that's a completely different way of looking at it. A real paradigm shift.
It is.
So it's not about guessing the next squiggle on the chart, but understanding these, hidden forces, the mechanics underneath.
Precisely. And that gets us straight into what makes LiqBot Pro stand out. It's that deep integration of AI and, crucially, self-learning.
Right. This is where it gets really interesting, I think, for anyone trying to actually get an edge.
Absolutely. The massive amount of AI and deep learning baked into this bot, that's the game changer. It's not just running some preset rules. It's designed to be genuinely intelligent. It learns, it evolves, it literally rewrites its own settings, its own money management logic as it goes.
Okay. How does that work in practice?
Well, first, there's auto-learning money management. Imagine a system that's constantly watching itself, looking at its own stats, win rate, profit factor, Sharpe ratio, even winning and losing streaks.
Its own track record.
Exactly. And then it automatically adjusts the really critical stuff, like take profit levels, stop-loss levels, position size, how long it holds a trade, all the risk parameters. The key insight here is these things usually need human tweaking, right? Based on gut feel or fixed rules. Here, the bot optimizes them based on its own actual results.
Wow.
It's moving towards adaptive, truly bias-free risk management, and they stress zero manual tuning is needed.
So it's not just reacting to the market, it's learning from its own wins and losses, making itself smarter trade by trade. How does it make the calls in the moment then?
That's the MQ score engine. Think of it as the bot's brain, its core decision maker. It crunches a ton of data to make faster, sharper calls. But the really adaptive part, it changes its own logic in real time, based on market conditions and its own performance, building what they call a compounding edge.
A compounding edge, I like that.
Yeah, and that feeds right into its self-optimization and reinforcement learning. The bot literally improves itself. If it sees sustained losses on a coin pair, it might tighten entry rules, cut its size, maybe even just stop trading that pair for a bit.
Smart.
But if it's doing well, performance spikes, it gets more aggressive, bigger trades, maybe looser entry criteria, more volume, and the kicker, no human babysitting. And then there's the AI assistant in Copilot. This is like having a GPT-4.0 powered coach built in.
Seriously.
Yeah, it analyzes your trades, the bot's logs, even your behavior live. It gives you real-time tips, points out potential emotional biases, basically offers coaching right there in the interface. It all comes back to that core idea. The longer you let it run, the smarter and more profitable it becomes.
That is genuinely revolutionary. A bot that doesn't just play by the rules, but kind of rewrites them and morphs as the market shifts based on its own experience.
That sounds almost like a living trading system.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, let's dig a bit deeper. How does it spot these subtle market dynamics, the hidden stuff. What's it looking for that gives it an edge when most people are just staring at price charts?
Right. It comes down to understanding market microstructure, tiny details, and specifically detecting manipulation.
Okay.
Take the Fade Analyzer upgrade. Its job is to spot things like market maker traps, fake breakouts, those big liquidation cascades in real time. This gives you better protection against, say, high-frequency trading tactics or big whale manipulation.
Makes sense.
But here's a really critical piece: identifying uptick sell and downtick buy anomalies. Now, this isn't just about tracking overall buy or sell volume, no.
What is it then?
LiqBot V5 tracks the comparison between what a market order intended to do buy or sell and what it actually did to the price. So imagine a huge buy order comes in, but the price actually ticks down, or a big sell order hits and the price ticks up.
That sounds counterintuitive.
Exactly. These are often subtle signs of algorithmic games. Market makers playing games to disguise their actions, to distort the order flow, maybe trigger stops. So the focus shifts, you see. It's not just about price trend. It's about recognizing a manipulation trend.
A manipulation trend?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm following. How does it act on that?
Through an automated go-with-fade mode. There's a deep learning module, basically a smart AI trained on, get this, over 1 million real liquidation events. It looks at tons of data: order size, price action, on-chain sentiment, volatility, open interest, funding rates, all of it. And based on all that, it decides in real time, should I trade against this weird signal, FAD it, or trade with it, go with it.
And it decides automatically.
Completely removes the guesswork for the user.
Yeah, wow. So this sophisticated detection lets you potentially see what others don't, gives you a real edge in what can feel like, well, a rigged game sometimes. It's like market X-ray vision.
That's a good analogy.
That kind of X-ray vision sounds incredibly powerful. But markets change constantly, right? How does LiqBot make sure it keeps that edge? Is there proof this continuous learning actually works in the real world? What are the results like?
Yeah, that's crucial. The focus is always on continuous improvement, and the performance numbers are, well, they're pretty compelling. With version 4.8, they did a major performance boost, lots of techie stuff, code refactoring, memory management, multi-threading.
Okay,
meaning real-world benefits, like 75% less memory usage, 70% lower CPU load, which translates to what they call bulletproof stability. The bot can just run for days, even during crazy volatile periods, without crashing or slowing down. Gives you peace of mind.
That stability is huge in crypto.
Definitely. Then overall profitability. They report a 65% plus win rate overall. And this isn't just backtesting. It's tested across 15 plus crypto pairs, thousands, 2,847 live market trades, with risk-reward ratios that adapt anywhere from 1.1 up to 3.1.
Okay, pretty solid numbers.
And it has specialized modes like a ranging market beast mode that apparently hits 90% win rate when the market's just chopping sideways.
90%, wow.
And then trending market intelligence, which they say boosts win rates from maybe 45% up to 72% by analyzing trends dynamically.
So it adapts its strategy type.
Exactly. And really important, in V5.3, they added daily profit and loss limits, hard-coded safety nets.
Like circuit breakers.
Kind of, based on real-time return on equity and unrealized profit or loss. If you hit your daily profit target, or more importantly, your daily loss limit, boom. The bot automatically closes everything, shuts itself down for the day, won't take new orders. It's about protecting your capital, right? Not letting a bad run wipe you out.
That's absolutely critical. Responsible trading.
For sure. And one more thing in V5.3, this profitable patch momentum mode, it shifts the bot from being mostly contrarian fading moves to more of a sniper. It tracks liquidation direction, volume spikes, order flow imbalances, confirms momentum across multiple timeframes, and then uses an aggressive trailing stop to catch real breakouts.
So it's got multiple personalities adapting to conditions. These advancements, they really do sound like they bring a professional level experience to, well, regular hardware. Power plus protection.
That's the goal, yeah.
But, hearing all this, it's easy to just focus on the tech, this complex, intelligent system. But behind it all, there's a human story, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely.
Building something like this doesn't just happen. There's dedication, struggle. You mentioned the developer calls it pure pain sometimes.
He really does. And he's surprisingly open about the grind, which I think is great. It really humanizes it. Like, he talks about the packaging nightmare, just trying to turn the Python code into a simple .exe file that people can run.
Sounds simple, but I bet it wasn't.
Oh, far from it. Constant problems. Missing little software files, weird text encoding errors. The program just Vanishing.
Yeah.
Silent crashes with no error messages.
Ugh, the worst.
Debugging in the dark, he calls it. But his takeaway from that whole ordeal was powerful. He said, if you're fighting your code, you're packaging your OS, it doesn't mean you suck. It means you're actually building.
That's a great perspective. Struggle is part of the process.
Exactly. It's proof you're pushing boundaries. He even mentions tiny, annoying things like constantly having to deal with SSL renewal for secure connections. These little frustrations pile up on top of the huge technical challenges. It paints a picture of just sheer persistence.
Yeah.
It really highlights his mantra: never quit, never settle, always build, even when, as he admits, you sometimes want to rage quit and go live in the mountains.
I think every builder feels that sometimes. That story really drives home that behind this sophisticated AI, there's just relentless human effort and ingenuity,
Right.
which makes the tech even more impressive, really.
I agree.
And that brings us right up to now, the latest version, LiqBot V5.3, positioned as the most advanced version yet. So what does this culmination of all that building look like?
V5.3 is pitched as, a complete AI-enhanced, HFT-inspired trading system. It starts with an enhanced AI Copilot engine. It's way more than just an assistant now. It uses reinforcement learning to get smarter about its trading thresholds. It has an auto-parameter optimizer that learns from the outcomes of actual market anomalies. It even uses things like k-means clustering, an AI technique to figure out what kind of market phase we're in, ranging, trending, and adapt accordingly.
So it understands the market context.
It tries to, yeah. Plus a pattern matcher for high probability setups, and crucially, dynamic reasoning logs. It actually tells you why I took this trade, gives you transparency, and integrates GPT-4.1 as the assistant.
It explains itself. That's
Right.
incredibly useful, not just a black box.
Exactly. Then there's deep learning plus adaptive sizing. Your position size isn't fixed. It changes dynamically based on volatility ATR, average true range, and also open interest changes on Binance.
So it watches futures market flow.
Yeah, how much money is coming in or out. If volatility jumps or there's a big liquidation surge, it automatically scales up or down your trade size, like an intelligent risk manager built in. It can even use a dedicated trained neural network for risk if you have the right software installed.
Very sophisticated.
Then smarter anomaly filters, V2.0. These aren't static rules anymore. The thresholds adjust with the market. It looks for multiple types of anomalies, not just the uptick, downtick ones. And get this, it tracks the historical win rate of each specific anomaly setup. If a certain pattern starts losing too much, say over 60% loss rate, it automatically blacklists it, stops trading it.
So it learns what not to do as well. That's smart.
Very. The profitability patch V2 just fine-tunes things for edge. Default take profit is boosted to 2.5%, stop loss tightened to 1%. Optimizing that risk reward. It gives you real-time order flow insights too. Dual high-speed data streams from Binance futures, second-by-second tracking of buy-sell pressure, an anomaly tracker that simulates TPSL live. And it logs everything automatically for later analysis.
So tons of data. Presented how?
Through a modernized GUI and dashboard. They call it cleaner, more powerful. More live stats visible, dedicated dashboards for the MQ score, AI logs, analytics tools, backtesting, all wrapped in a kind of sleek, Web3 Solana-inspired look, dark mode options, neon accents.
Sounds cool.
And finally, smart trade execution. It handles everything automatically, setting TPSL, sizing the trade, managing multiple positions correctly, preventing conflicting orders, even double-checking that a trade executed properly before placing the next one.
Okay, so wrapping it all up, V5.3 isn't just a bot you turn on. It really does sound like this. Autonomous trading assistant. Filtering noise, learning, adapting, making smarter trades, theoretically taking human guesswork and emotion out of the equation.
That's a promise.
It's been an incredible journey to follow from just a script to what you called a financial organism.
It really has. LiqBot's come a long, long way. And its core strengths, that self-learning AI, the deep dive into market microstructure, the built-in safety nets, they really do signal something new in automated trading.
So, thinking about this evolution, what does it mean for you, our listener? How should this change how you think about markets?
Well, here's a thought to leave you with. If an AI can meticulously learn, adapt, and actually exploit the hidden mechanics of market manipulation and liquidity flow, it can continuously improve its edge with every single trade it makes. What does that fundamentally change about our ideas of market efficiency? And what does it suggest about the future role of, human intuition in trading?